Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and if you haven't guessed, it's Sunday and we haven't done this for a while because the weather's been that bloody miserable over the last month. There really hasn't been any car boot sales to go to. They've basically all been washed out, or it's been that rainy that even the ones that are on hard standing, they wouldn't be worth going to. Anyway, finally we've had a day that was reasonable, and at least it's not been peeing it down all day. Chelford, where I'd really like to go, unfortunately still isn't on because that's all on farmers' fields and the whole area is pretty much saturated at the moment. So unless we get a good week of really nice dry weather, Chelford isn't going to be on. It just turned into a quagmire. So I took a trip down to Smithfield this morning. Just on the off chance to see if there was anything about it. I've not picked a huge amount up, but got a couple of items, so I thought I'd make a video and share with you what I picked up today. Didn't spend a huge ton of money or anything, but I got a couple of interesting items, both off the same seller. It's my usual go-to guy down at Smithfield who has basically loads of tables and it's just piled high with stuff, and he tends to sell it reasonable. Anyway, first thing that I got, what we've got here, basically we've got a couple of valves and then just a load of components. Let's have a look what we've got valve wise. We've got in box, I don't know if it's new or not, I'll have a look in a minute, but we've got a Mazda 6P25, which I think is an output valve. I'll have to look that valve up. 17 shillings and sixpence, so yeah, it probably is an output valve actually, because they were the more expensive of them. I believe the 6P25 is reasonably sought after as well. A bit of crud on it. It is indeed a 6P25. Probably, I don't know whether it's a new one or not. I think they have been inserted in a, I'm not sure actually. There's a bit of discoloration on the pins there. The base is cracked, but that'll glue easy enough. It's actually still reasonably well attached to its base. So yeah, that weren't bad. We've got 6P25. That is a 6SA7, and that's a JAN. That's Joint Army Navy. So that's a like a US spec. Well, we can tell it's US spec. It's made by RCA, made in USA. So we've got a 6SA7 there. Again, don't know whether it's any use immediately, but it can go down into my valve stocks. I've got anything else valve related in here. Oh, I've got a really cool switch. I don't know what that's off. British made. It's a Eureka. Just looking really interesting. I have a feeling it's an idea that it'll make before it breaks kind of affair. Multi-position. It's like really cool being like open-ended like that. Probably like 1930s, 1940s I'd expect. But yeah, I thought that was quite cool. So that was in the box. I've not even really rummaged down at the bottom, I just saw, there we go. Got 33k power resistors. $1k 2-watt carbon power resistors. More power resistors. It is all resistors in here basically. There we go. Some more 2k 1-watt. Sorry, 2-watt 1k. Pack of 20. You can tell these are all fairly old because a pack of 20 of them was £2. And what's this? That's some form of indicator lamp. I'm not sure what that's for. It might be automotive or something like that. Rather unusual one. But then, oh, we've got another valve. That's a CV133. I'm not sure what the civilian code on that will be. I'm not sure what it is. It looks like it might be like a triode or a pentode or something like that. I'll look that up and see what it is. But we've got another valve, and then we just have another one of them funny indicator lights. Some green shield stamps. Now, when are them from? Is that the 60s or the 70s? They're quite kind of cool, actually. Now, I believe this is before my time, but basically when you bought your petrol, they give you these stamps and then you'd save them up, and I think you could redeem them for things, you know, like kind of an incentive thing for sticking to one place to buying your fuel. I think that's what these were. I think that's what these were for. But anyway, green shield stamps. Right, and then what we've got is we have got. And at first I thought these were possibly capacitors, but they're not. They are resistors. We've got loads and loads of these wire wound. What's that? 680k half watt, 1% tolerance, so they're really high tolerance resistors. What's this? That one's 100k, 1 watt. We've got all different, basically all different values in them, but they are high, high tolerance, incredibly high quality resistors. Various different values. There's all sorts in here, I think. What's that one? 300k. So they all seem to be quite high. Oh, 10 megs. 10 meg ohm. I'm actually very, very low on like high wattage, high resistance resistors. What's that? 4.7k. Again, what's that? Is that 2 watt? And then we've got loads of these type of power resistors. These are just incredibly useful for when you're working on vintage valve circuits and stuff, because you do tend to need slightly higher current carrying resistors. So we've got all them, and I paid for the entire box, so I bought it as just as one box. That was £5. Now you can't get components like that for £5. I mean, yeah, it's going to take me a little bit of a while to sort all that lot out, and to be honest, if that's good, that's worth at least £5 just for that valve there. So basically I paid for the valve and I got all that for nothing. Right, that's the first thing that I picked up. Now the second thing, now this come off the same seller. Ooh, it's a little bit heavy, but we have actually picked up a little bit of I won't say retro computing, but it's getting there. Ooh, we've got a big beige box. Now it's some time since I've seen a beige box PC like this for sale on a car boot sale. Instant thing that I saw, ooh, that might be interesting looking at, was the fact that it had a floppy drive on the front. So we knew this thing was not new. This was reasonably old. We've got an AMD Athlon sticker there. I think this has come through an auction actually, is where most of his stuff I think has. I have a feeling what the chap does is basically goes to the auction houses, and at the end of the auction, all the lots that haven't sold, he just buys for like pennies. Because they don't want to deal with it. To them it's just waste that they have to pay to get rid of. So if he'll give them a few pounds for it and he loads his wagon up, it's good for them, and it means that we can pick stuff like this up. You know, well, I will say cheap. I'll tell you what I paid for this in the end. So that's what makes me think this has probably come through a well, you know, it's come from an auction or something like that. But anyway, let's have a look what we've got. It's not bad really. It's an Advent, so I've already said we've got an AMD Athlon, we've got a DVD-ROM drive at the top there, and then we've got a CD rewritable there. That's quite nice, obviously 3.5 inch floppy. We go on the back. Which we can see it's not got a lot in it. It has definitely not got a lot in it. This kind of dates, we're talking, you know, this thing's probably it's over 20 years old, I'd say. We've got a modem in there. In fact, when we're going to open this thing up, so we'll find out exactly how old it is. But I reckon it's probably over 20 years old. So we've got a modem at the bottom there. We've got a VGA card, but with the age of this system, that could actually be on the motherboard, and rather than them actually put it on the, you know, on the back plane, on the ATX back plane there. I've seen this many times in the older systems that used ATXs, where they'd still have onboard graphics, but they actually bring it out to a little header and you put it in one of the card slots like that, and you actually lose one of your expansion slots. Let's carry on going round it anyway. But anyway, we've got some nice ports on the back. Obviously we've got VGA, a game port, sound, so we've got onboard sound, parallel port, a couple of serial ports, a couple of USB, PS2 keyboard, PS2 mouse, so quite nice there. We have a look on the side. We've got a something that shows us how to pull the covers off. Apparently the front pops off, but I think we'll be taking the sides off, and we've got actually that's really cool. This thing originally came with Windows ME on it, so again that kind of dates it a little bit. We're talking, you know, 2000s, probably about 2000-ish when this thing was made. So we've got a Windows Monument Edition sticker there. Complete with CD key, which is really nice, so we could actually put ME on this. In fact, I don't have an ME box, so it might end up, might have this as an ME box, I don't know yet. So yeah, let's crack into it and let's have a quick squiz inside. I mean, we might find there's no hard drive in it, which isn't a big deal, to be honest. We know it's got a main board in there. To be honest, for what I paid for it, the case was worth what I paid for it. And that's another reason why we can tell this is a fairly old system. More modern systems, you'd slide the side off. These are earlier ones where the whole case lifts off like this. This is also kind of dates it to be in, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, we do have a hard drive in there. Awesome. Oh, we have a proper graphics card as well. Even more awesome. Right, let's turn you around so you can have a look. So we do indeed actually, I was not expecting to have a proper graphics card, and it's an AGP card. We've got a nice VIA chipset motherboard down there. I can't see anything that looks too terrible actually. Nor can I see any blown caps on that motherboard. In fact, it looks really, really good. It looks very similar to a main board that I've actually got I've got up there. Is this going to be something like a K62 or a K63 then? And we're not expecting something quite that old. I think this might be a K62 or a K63, something like that. It could be Athlon T-Bird. Oh, it does say Athlon on it, doesn't it? Early Athlon. But there is, well, if it's early Athlon, I expect to have horrendous capacitor problems because it's of that age. But all the capacitors in there that I can see look really, really good. None of them have got dome tops. None of them look any signs of distress. We have a Maxstar. I'll try to just see if I can see a size on it. 20 gig. So we've got a Maxstar 20 gig hard drive. Shall we pull that graphics card out and see what we've got? Let's get the old anti-static on. There we go. Let's see what we've got graphics cards wise. Oh. Well, we're only going to find out when we get this thing powered up, I think, because there is I can't see anything on there that tells us what it is. PA 3000 plus. With not a lot on it. It's a very cut down card, whatever it is, as you can see. You can see all the unpopulated parts all around here. So this is obviously a very budget card. Yeah, there's absolutely no maker's mark or whatever it is, but I've got an AGP graphics card in there. I do probably have much nicer graphics cards that could go in this system, to be honest, from that era. But we'll put him back in and we'll find out what it is. Is that sitting back in properly? Come on, get in your hole. There we go. There we go. We'll pop him back in. And I can't see it. It is really clean in there, as in like astonishingly clean. There's no dust. That is super clean. There's no dust on the main board or anything. In fact, there's hardly any dust on the fans. There's a little front mounted fan down there, and there's hardly any dust on that. That is in super nice condition. Right, what I'll do, I'll pull out a keyboard, mouse and monitor and what have you. We'll get it set up and we'll have a go and we'll see if this thing's actually going to fire up and whether it's got an OS on it or what have you. So I'll get that set up and we'll be back in a sec. Right, okay, there we go. So we've got the computer set up there. I've got it all plugged in. I've got an old screen here, a mouse, I've got a keyboard off to one side of me here. I've even plugged the audio into my test speakers there, so if the audio works we'll get to see that. So let's see what happens. I haven't tried it already. This is going to be the first try, so what switches on? We're going, and the lights turn green on the monitor. A open. I think we've got a runner. Right, we've got an Athlon at 1 GHz. Awesome. See how much memory we've got. I didn't even have a look at the memory. I think we've got 256 mega RAM. Let's see. One hell of a memory count up on these old systems when they've got... No, it's got more. 300 megs. Dear me. It's got like 300 meg of RAM in it. So we'll have to, when we go into this thing a bit further and pull the main board out, we'll have to see how that's configured. I think we can escape out of that, because I think, yeah, it's got 320 megs of RAM. That's not just 32, is it? If that's 32, it's taking a hell of a long time to... load up. CMOS checksum defaults loaded. Well, we know why we're getting that. The COSC 32 will be bad in there. Let's go into setup and see what we've got in setup. Good old a wide CMOS setup utility. Standard CMOS features. We've got a 20 gig hard drive there. What I want to have a look at is look at that, brilliant. This would make a really good retro gaming or bridge computer. It will take up to a 360k 5¼ inch floppy, all the way up to a 2.8 meg, which is the IBM standard 3.5 inch floppy. That's really good. This will make a really nice retro system. We'll exit that. Exit without saving because we haven't done anything. Yes. And let us see, has it still got Windows Millennium on it? Has it been completely wiped? Has someone upgraded it to XP? We don't know. So has it got a ridiculous amount of RAM in it, or has it got 32 megs? It's just this is taking a ridiculous amount of time to count up to 32 megs. It could be 32 meg of RAM, not 320 meg. Yeah, perhaps it is 32 megs of RAM. That would make more sense for what's the actual system that's in here. Yeah, 320 would be ridiculous for well, that's, as I say that I've got 256 meg in my Windows 98 rig. Let's let it carry on. Let's get rid of that actually. Right, let us see if it's going to boot. Press F1. I don't think we've got anything on the hard drive by the look of it. Oh, hang on. What's it doing? Hard drive is booting. Let's see if we're going to pick the mouse up. We've picked the audio up, the audio's working. And we've got a mouse. We don't want to have the PCI communications device. Let's cancel that for now. Found my monitor. Cancel for that. I wonder when the last time this computer was fired up was. We'll have to be a bit careful because it obviously looks like this has got people's data on it. Check that out. Yeah, this is literally someone's home computer by the look of it. It seems to have everything on it. Got Photoshop, Serif Page Plus, Netscape Navigator. This is a time warp. Page Plus up there, yeah. My computer. I've got to be really careful. You know, let's have a quick look at my documents. Yeah, this has got, you know, people's personal files on it and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to be careful here. What I show. I was not expecting it to be quite this complete. Everything's This was obviously in really well working space, in working condition when it was retired. I've got 19 gig hard drive. We've got 1.5 gig free, so the hard drive is pretty full of stuff. And we go here, programs. Let's see what's loaded. So we've got Serif, Draw Plus. Oh wow. Sierra. Microsoft Works. Games. That's just the... I was just seeing if there was anything like interesting other games on it or anything, but it looks like this was pretty much set up as a you know, a home officey type computer. By looking what we've got on here, I'm pretty sure this thing was used as a home, a good home computer, you know, home office. Look on. See if we can get into C drive. There's not a huge amount of stuff on here. Oh, there we go. There's a fair bit of stuff on here. 3 Jag VGA, 4 Tornado. I think there are some games on here actually. Combat Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Demo. 4 Tornado, 2 Harrier. I don't know how we get this to work. Okay. Haven't a clue. I can move it around. I'm just using the mouse just to make that move around like that. Just orientating it with the mouse. Go. Let's see what he does. Ah! Jaguar GR1 Strike Force Delta Zulu. Well, it does look like this might be fairly playable. Yeah, cool. I'm not a huge flight sim fan, but that looks pretty cool. Are you going to come back out? Have you crashed? Oh, there. Oh, hang on now. Let's see if we can get out. Confirm exit, yeah. So we've got a flight sim and stuff on here as well. How do I quit out? There we go. So that is really, really, really cool. Yeah, Flight Simulator 2002, it's down there. Or is that something else? Whoever was into this obviously was like the flight sims and stuff. Yeah, Flight Sim 98. And it all seems to actually still work. I don't actually know what I'm going to do with this hard drive, to be honest. It's got some quite cool stuff on it. If I reuse this, I can always just go through this. I don't think I've got Flight Simulator 2002. And how well is this computer going to run it? That's the other thing. It seems to. The graphics look pretty good. How do we get out of it? Yes, exit. Let's come back out. So that is awesome. So he seems to have a fully functioning late 90s, I'd say. Potentially a really nice retro gaming rig for, you know, DOS Windows 98 era kind of stuff, this could be very, very, very cool. I would need to find out whether it's got any DOS implementation on the onboard sound, and there's a chance with the age of the computer it actually might have, which would make it even cooler. If this has got a decent DOS audio implementation on the onboard sound, like I said, this is then a really, really, really nice candidate to make into a retro gaming rig. If not, it will make a really cool bridge PC. It will happily run, you know, Windows 98 or probably even Windows XP if we put, you know, a few little upgrades on it. But I'm thinking DOS Windows 98 era and make it a really nice gaming rig this. It would certainly work out really nice for something like that. What did I pay for it? That's the question. If I told you I paid £40 for it, considering you've seen what's inside it and what it is, I think you'd agree that I got quite a bargain for £40. You know, it'd be rather a bargain that for £40. If you said, you know, we've got a late 90s gaming rig basically. You go on eBay, you cannot pick something like that up for £40. But I didn't pay £40 for this one. If I told you I paid £14 for it, you'd think, bloody hell, someone's got an absolute steal there. How did you get that for £14? I didn't pay £14 for this. I paid £4 for it. That's it. It was £4. Got it. Like I said, I got it off the same guy that I bought them valves and them resistors off and what have you. And I just said, "What do you want for the beige box in the corner?" And it was sat on a table surrounded by other junk. And he didn't even ask what I said. The old computer over there, that said the beige box one. He just said, "Oh, give me £4 for it." There you go. Retro systems. They're still out there. You can still get them for stupid cheap if you go around, you look about. You couldn't buy the floppy drive nowadays on eBay for £4, tested and working. Same with the CD drives. So if I broke this thing up, that's why I was saying even the case, you wouldn't get that case for under £5 or £10 if you was looking for a nice case to build a system in. So the whole thing was £4. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at some retro goodiness that I picked up today on my car boot explorers. So I'll say thanks for watching and goodbye.